Let me think back to when I first used a computer. That was probably in the late 70s. I am from St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I have lived in D.C. a little over 40 years. I came to D.C. because I wanted to go back to school, and coming to the nation's capital was something that seemed new and exciting and interesting. Eventually, I became a nurse. My son would say to me about my completion of my Byte Back classes, "Mom, I am so proud of you." He would tease me about not being technologically savvy. I knew some basic things about computers. I knew what the CPU was, I knew what the keyboard was, I knew what a mouse was, I knew what a monitor was. And that's about it.
Life in DC is difficult. There's a lot of poverty throughout the city, a lot of people who just need opportunity. People want better for themselves. It's sometimes just difficult in finding the right tools to put them in the right position. For the past 15 years, I caught shoplifters for a living. The security game got a little bit deadly. When you're coming to work and your decisions may affect whether you make it home that night or whether someone else makes it home that night, that's a lot to weigh on someone's head. And I didn't feel comfortable there anymore. And I needed to make a change in my life for myself, for my family. I actually stumbled upon getting training to become an IT specialist.
When you're thinking about workforce centers or anybody that's in the business of preparing people for the future, the necessity for those places doing a good job is higher than it has ever been in the past. The nature of work is changing, and the nature of the qualities that people need to have to be effective economic participants in their communities is just, the level is getting higher. You got to step up your game in this environment. You just can't depend on the local business community to take care of you and to think that the jobs that were good enough for your parents or your grandparents are going to be the same kind of jobs that are going to exist from now on. So there's this pervasive sense in the culture that people have to be constant learners.
When I was growing up, we barely got to touch a computer. You really didn't have any kind of good feeling about using technology.
There's just a new set of literacies that are sort of equivalent to the kind of literacies that societies had to go through as books became more available to them. Learning how to read and write was a really hard, complicated, sustained process. Well, now, learning how to use these technologies sometimes can be, for lots of people, as long of a process and as sustained of a process and as challenging a process as that other kind of literacy that's more traditional.
If you want to be trained and you want to learn and you want to make something better, Byte Back will get it for you. They'll help you get it there. I entered into the A+ program in May of 2014, and I got my certification in October of 2014. It was a really great learning experience. I am an IT technician, and I work at DC Public Schools doing IT service for the public schools.
My son always wanted to help other people. 2 years ago on Saturday, he was on his way home and he took the metro and walked a few blocks to his apartment. When he got to his door, he pulled out his keys and the young man confronted him with a sawed-off shotgun and told him, "This is a robbery." He felt that everybody should have some technology training. There were some basics that everyone should know. His dream was to mentor people, especially young people, who were at risk of falling into life on the street, and give them a sense of purpose, a sense of hope, a sense of feeling that there was a point to all this and that they could become a success by anyone's standards. When I walked into Byte Back, I was not sure what to expect. I was told that its goal was to promote computer literacy throughout the community.
I feel that Byte Back has helped me on the path to get to that goal of just being ready for the future.
I felt challenged, but not so challenged that I was apprehensive or uncomfortable. They don't throw so much at you at a time that you're not able to absorb it.
There's a person helping you put together your resume. There's a person helping push your resume out. There's a person telling you when you do get an interview, how to act in the interview, making sure that you're 100% a full package.
The next 3 to 5 years are probably going to bring more changes than the previous 5 or 10 years, hard as that is to imagine. And the level of literacy you need to navigate those spaces well is going to increase. You're going to need to know more and need to know how to interact with these systems.
Somebody's always there to explain and guide you.
He was really diligent in making sure that you understood. He broke things down completely.
This is a chance for people to get some really necessary job training skills.
They're putting people in positions to better themselves. They're putting people in a structured environment that's helping getting them ready for the workplace. And they're putting out quality individuals. I tell people all the time, I have fun all day. I laugh and I play around with computers all day. Byte Back has helped and changed my life, yes.
He always encouraged me to take maximum advantage of what I was able to do, what I am able to do. I'm quite sure that he would be really proud of me.